Hey, how's it going? So, today I want to acknowledge before I start the passing of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle through by unnatural causes. Watch TMZ for more on that. Um, so, I have some cards that I pulled, some from today and one from a couple of days ago. I think the only thing I want to say is, well, haha, the only thing, it's going to be more than a thing. Still, like, really noticing how just roller coaster it's been feeling just to live like day by day. It's getting more and more intense. So yeah, those passings I think definitely were like a fracture point where a bunch of steam could release, for lack of a better word, to be concise. So anyway, it is tragic, it's horrible, or horrifying, well, and horrible, I guess, the way that it happened, from the little bit of reporting that I've seen, which it doesn't do much more than name names and the manner of the passing, and I guess it's pretty fresh. So, more to come on that, but when people go, we don't know, like I didn't know immediately that when people go that it wasn't like a big tragic loss, and the other thing about when people go, it's like the people that are still here kind of make it about them, and lose sight of the person and the life that they lived, which is why I kind of I've always had an aversion to funerals and stopped going at such an early age that it like pissed adults off. But I was like, I don't want to go because that is for you. It just becomes a what do you call it when you say things to make yourself look good? Humble brags. Except it turns not so humble, and I don't know. I'm sure there are, like, of course there are people that are there sincerely because of out of love and loss, which is what I'm trying to get at. You shouldn't. It's not good to feel loss for too long. Or if you can get to a point where you can avoid it, it's not necessary, because you may not know this like at some earlier stage in your life, but you may come to learn that they're not really gone. Like, people grow up saying things or go through life saying things like, I felt their presence, or like, I felt like my mom was in the room, or I felt like they were agreeing with me and telling me this was the thing to do. So that's not just a feeling. I mean, things give you feelings. Things make you feel things. So when they pass, their composition changes, but not their, like, eternal essence, I guess, like the soul, however you want to term it. But here we exist as meat people, meat puppets, and when we pass, we revert to our original state, which is an energetic light form, which always makes me think of that episode of Star Trek TNG where there was like the creature that was like all shocky and they had to like learn how to communicate with it. Shoot, I can't ever remember the name of it when I'm trying to think about it. It's not polyester. Anyway, because there's a number of episodes that you could say, well, it could be this, it could be that. I apologize. How else can I describe it? It was like brownish. Anyway, it was one of those things where the Enterprise was doing something that was hurting it or aggravating it, like putting sound things in the ocean that totally harmed the ecosystem there. So, I mean, it was one of those episodes. Not the point. Not the point at all. The point is, their lives meant something where his particularly, and I'm sure she was a part of it. Like, I don't read credits. She may be all over the credits of all of the movies he made. So, but he always had like the first time I remember seeing him, okay, well, maybe I saw him before that. Like, you see actors before they get a name. So, but the first time I really think about him, seeing him the first time, was All in the Family. And he wasn't a hippie per se, but he had long hair for, like, to his collar, so, that's long. Back then it was long. But, he just had, like, more sort of left-leaning hippie ideas, and that was the character, but I think it was also the man, because up until, like, recently, he was very vocal about things, and he had very strong opinions as far as, like, American politics, or U.S. politics, and, the people's roles in it, and he was always saying that, like, he knew some things that he could, like, bring out and, like, smear people and make them look bad or reveal things that they've kept hidden. And there are a lot of times where someone like that, or someone will be in a situation where they're like a whistleblower of some type, and then they come to harm. And it happens so much that I don't know if we're just like inured to it or what, but there's also, like, the people that really don't want people saying stuff. Some to the degree that they choose violence and fatality. So there's a element of conspiracy theory around this. But I have been discovering that so many things that we have come to know that we think we know are just completely not that thing at all, like the opposite, something else entirely. And what we're perceiving is not so much a figment of our imagination, but a shared, like, holographic projection, like a holodeck, because apparently I've just learned that large-scale holographic projections are a thing, and have been since, like, really ancient times, like the crucifixion. What happened there, evidently, according to these ETs, was a holographic projection, and that's why he was dead. He rose up. He like, he was here, he was there. So that's like the mystery around it, but it turns out it's not mystery at all. It's technology. And I'll tell you why I say that stuff as if I 100% believe it. It is because I do. You may have heard me talk before. That's why I take this stuff all kinds of seriously. And the more I learn how much wool has been pulled over our eyes and the degree of complexity to the weave is crazy. Sorry, don't mean to yell. It's actually kind of exciting when you step back and remember this is not really us. Like, again, we're here in these forms, and many of us came to be here at this particular time to join in the the diorama or the drama that's happening now, because it's one of those it could go either way things, and so a lot of people have reincarnated to be here for it, and not everyone came to be the good guy. Some came to be the, what we would call the bad guy, but in the overall scheme of things, which we might not be able to see from the point where we're sitting, it all is happening for a reason. Like that infuriating thing I'd hear as a child, oh, the Lord moves in mysterious ways, and it happened for a reason, and you'd just be like, Dad, what? God, what does that even mean? Now, it means things. I have context, and fine, it's a conspiracy theory if you want to view it that way, but maybe things that, like I've been learning that and I know this, we're conditioned to think certain things, certain ways, and right now is one of those times where great pains are being taken to, like, direct our thoughts and beliefs. And those are strong, but we should do, I feel like, I'll make it me. I want to do as little as possible to help that effort. Like, I want to keep my mind about me as much as possible. So we are conditioned to disbelieve things and think they're outlandish and crazy, and that's magical thinking. But what if it's not? What if that's all wrong? What if the real stuff is the magical thinking stuff, and the normal stuff that we think is real is the holographic projection? Okay, so I have a Declarations of Mary card, and it reads, "Write from thy heavens, and the heavens shall rejoice." I'm going to read that again because it's that archaic language. Write, like with a pen and paper, write from the heavens, and the heavens shall rejoice. So I didn't have to think real hard on that one. It seems to be like we create our life paths. Like whatever is going to happen, like from here and now, we definitely have a direct influence upon. So I feel like it's just saying when you are writing from thy heavens, you're writing from like your highest vibrational point. Like you have the best of intentions, and it's I don't use the terms comfortably, but love and light. I'm comfortable with the concept, it's just not my jargon. But if you're writing from your heavens, you're like composing your next steps, like writing your life, like literally composing what's going to happen from the highest order, where you want to help and partner and share and love, and it's much more important than competition or appearance and greed and acquisition. So I feel like that's what it means when it says "write from thy heavens, and the heavens shall rejoice." And from that, I take it to mean, obviously, that, like, oh, they're, like, yay, happy, rejoicing, but also good fortune will, like, smile upon you, or like, you'll have, like, good things in your life, because, you do good things, then you tend to do better than if you do, like, the things we consider bad, like illegal things, hurtful things, theft, and assault, things like that. Like those, not the good ones. And so when you do those, I think what the heavens, I mean, they were talking about it, so I'm just going to go ahead with it. I think what the heavens want you to do is, like, be good to each other, help each other, like, lend a hand, not like do everything you can to trip the other person up and make their life miserable. And also, mind your business, tend your own garden. You don't have to like mess with other people. You got your own thing, and it coexists, and you can make yourself joyless by trying to find it when you're looking at your own life or accomplishments and then comparing them to someone else. Like, there's that right there, you're blowing it. Like, you're taking the joy out of your life. Because to make the comparison and compete, you're, well, it's not like a giving receptive energy. It's an against energy. It's a elbowing you out of the way energy. So, yeah, I wouldn't call that like good. And so, I don't think the heavens really have to do much when you're in that kind of state of mind. It tends to come back and bite you. And by the same token, if you are, like the person operating from your highest vibrational point, then what you attract to you is going to coincide with that vibration. Like, that's, I think pretty much how it works. Okay, so I have some cards also from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, and I was really thinking about Rob Reiner and what happened to him, and what I guess happens to a lot of people. It's no coincidence, I think, that Epstein is in the news when something happened to him that everybody feels is funky and untoward, like something's just not right about it. And then, like, the covering up and the multiple scrubbings and redactions of the same supposedly documents, there's a little bit of information that has gotten out about what more is being redacted and scrubbed, and it's anything connected to the first batch, I guess, which does not indicate innocence. I mean, if you keep running back and doing it, it's like you're going back to the litter box to recover that pile of turd with sand because, you just realized you missed a spot or you added a spot. It's just frantic, and it just looks like you're trying to hide something. It doesn't matter anymore what you say or what kind of, trouble, good God, in the world that you create as a distraction to make people not think about it. Epstein is in the news nevertheless, and so we all, I think, have an idea of like what that was about and why it's one of those not good things from all appearances, because we could be totally wrong and it's a good thing. Hard to square that one. But moving on, Diddy also in the news. Similar violations of people and laws, apparently. And then there was a third. It doesn't matter. There's always another one somewhere. Like the Tate brothers. They had a similar human exploitation situation happening. And it's just like, it is everywhere. And everything that can be done to cover it up by the people that are doing the things, and they don't want the other people to know because they don't want to get in trouble or jail. I mean, the way that you not necessarily, for the people so concerned with appearances like these people that I mentioned all seem to have been, you don't care about the ones that really matter, which is the one where no one is seeing, like, I shouldn't say no one, me. I am not seeing, like, what is so great and fantastic about these people from what the reporting I've seen is. And so they, I think, are completely on a level aware of that, but they are just brushing it aside because they want what they want. And that is icky. So it's out here, we're gonna find out things, apparently, because I can't believe there's so much of it in our face Well, we've been finding out a lot about the Diddy stuff. So we will we will just see as more and time develops. Okay, so first Shaman's Dream Oracle card. I have number 54 breaks down to 9, or yeah. And 9 is a completion number, and we were just talking about passing, and I have the crossing. So, crossing over, that's a thing. Initiation. I guess that's what this life was for these people, although I have a hard time believing it's the first go-round for either of them, because I think what they have accomplished with their lives by speaking up and just sort of being more on the light side of things, has been a major contribution. And he definitely had a passion for righteous, fair treatment of people, and that ain't bad. So the other thing about the initiation is, like, we are going through this, like, with them. Like, have been aware of him mainly all along, or I have been aware of him mainly all along, and his father's work, and I love comedy, so he was definitely a part of my awareness, and so I've paid attention to the course of his life and seen it come to the conclusion. So, yes, we are making this crossing together, and the initiation for us, I think, is one that some of us don't need, but others do, which I think goes back to my point, which I may not have made very clearly about when people pass, sort of not making it about the celebration and appreciation of the life of the person that is gone, and that's a damn shame, because what happens at the gatherings like that is, if everybody's sitting around woe is me and sad, that's going to create a certain atmosphere, and I would like to have the one where it's not a sad thing. It's like, we're so glad to have the time with you, and we'll be with you soon, and thanks for your service, and remember that time that was so great, and like things like that, like a wake situation, I guess, is what I would prefer, and I feel is more respectful, like, to the life. But that's just me. So the initiation is, I think, for those of us that haven't, like, taken those steps and may feel otherwise about surviving a passing. Oh, I guess just surviving the passing itself is an initiation to another level of understanding, where you have a number of choices as far as understanding. Like, you could be like the make it about me situation, or it could be about the understanding that the form has changed, but the essence is still the same. And so there is no loss. So, like, getting to the point where you understand that is an initiation, I would think. Okay, so next card is number 25, 7, and it is the Garden of Venus. Which, you know, we have the myth of heaven, and, you know, still on the talking about the passing, I guess. What a lovely place to end up. And so the subtitle is Rest and Renewal. From what I've learned from the channelings, I guess that we have that choice when we're done here. We do that, like, after the debriefing, and then we can either, like, have rest and renewal and just take some time off, or do something less demanding than an Earth incarnation. You have choices, but certainly one of them is rest and renewal in a beautiful place, like they say heaven is, although I think heaven might be a misnomer for the place that, I don't even know if it's like a place, like we think of it, a place. Anyway, I feel like they are certainly deserving of rest and renewal, because I'm sure that a lot, they came under attack a lot for what he had to say from the right, who would be opposing what he was saying, because a lot of it was anti-Trump. And that's not, like, when you start getting death threats, that's not, like, exclusive to you. That's going to involve your family and everybody that's going to be around you, because if they come after you when they're around, then harm may come. Although, they could also have just been threats. I feel like, since I am a regular TMZ viewer, had he been having really bad threats close to home, it would have made its way there, some bit of information about it, like a break-in or added security. Like, they tend to know those things. So, but I can't imagine they didn't get, like, just a shaitan of threats and that sort of thing. So the next card is number 43. It's a 7 again, and the subtitle is Overflow, or the card is Overflow title. And wow, that is glary. But you can see that's like a pretty fine house, sort of mansion-esque, I guess you could say. And it seems to be flooding. Flooding, I think, is a metaphor here. Like, the home where, or not necessarily the location, but like the family unit. I'm sure they had a very nice home. So the son is involved in it, and I don't know how many more kids they may or may not have. I can't believe they just have one, but I don't know. But anyway, I guess they had like substance abuse problems, and they were sort of criminal. They had criminal inclinations, and I guess like they didn't always get along well with the parents, and apparently, evidently, it came to a head, and this is how it ended. And so that indicates to me that when you have an addict and then one that's like an unrepentant recidivist that probably got like every kind of good help they could be found and it didn't take, and like sometimes you just have those people in your family that are just like, I'm just gonna take from everyone, just rob them of what they have that I want, and you're my family, so what's yours is mine. Wrong, but they still believe it no matter what I think. So that could create tension, a lot of tears and emotion, and again, it came to a head, overflowing, overwhelming plenty of stress and drama, and that's just two areas of their lives. Who knows what was going on with the wife? Might have had stuff that was serious, and like some things they kept close to the vest because it's none of our business, in-laws, parents, it could be so many things, business, and sometimes when things come to a head, it's because everything happened at once, and so I feel like that may be what happened there beforehand. Next card is number 26, so 778, and it's gathering around, and it's the myceliums. Hello, what's up, myceliums? I'm sorry. I really am sorry, but I couldn't help myself. Okay, the title of the card is Gathering Around. So the survivors, presumably that's what they would be doing, having some form of gathering along the lines of what I was talking about. Woe is me, or whoa, they were great situation. The subtitle is The Power of Community. So it's not just them, though. It's not just the family. It's not just the business associates. An extended family, or it is also the extended family. Like just everyone else that knew and loved of the man and his work. I don't want to say a loss, but there's a part now missing that is going to still exist, but in a different way. It's so funny because I was thinking about this a lot earlier before I pulled these, and it was like the acknowledgement of how many possible past beings, essence, or, ghost, whatever, residual energy is just still here. Like, we don't even think about it. And I think this might kind of go to that sort of, like, holodeck life where, yeah, we can feel and stuff feels solid and real, but it actually, like, isn't. It's just, like, collective agreement, vibration, holding what we perceive as reality together. So, wow, now I got all lost. But there's something about the holographic projection nature of just life where, we think, I'm not even talking about that being like some kind of trick played on us in this case. It just happens to be the nature of reality, maybe. And regardless, we still feel things, and community and support is what we at these times have in common. And so we all kind of need each other for the same thing, and it's a completely, a co-creative partnership. It's not just, I feel like it shouldn't just be around that issue and those people right now. I mean, yes, oh my gosh, the wars. So, and just regular life in the USA with Brown University, and in Australia with the Hanukkah attack thing. There's no shortage of things to make the feelings just come bursting out of us, like involuntary or not, because you're just going along and thinking everything's all cool, and next thing you know, one of your favorite directors has passed on horribly, and his wife, and it's not a good situation. But what we get from it, because we do get from it, something that's more important than like the woe is me situation, and it is that it's just an intense experience to have this loss or have this person go missing from your life. And it is one of the things that you come here for, to experience, because when you pass and go back to where you came from, your whole composition is different, so you don't even experience any of this stuff. And that's why it's like a draw for beings to come here over and over, despite the stuff. Okay, so last card, number 38, breaks down to 11, and it is Many Masks. You can't really see, there's a bust, like a statue of somebody's head and shoulders. I can't find any of my indicators, so anyway, I'll use my finger. But yeah, you can see that it's like head shoulders, indistinguishable face, like blurry and out of focus, and then you have these masks floating around that I guess are just there like to grab at your convenience, like whatever you need, because I guess you can wander through life as sort of a faceless entity lacking detail until you need to like show up and, you know, present yourself as somebody useful or attentive or alive. And gosh, what does it mean? Like that, like the rest of the time you're just this sort of blank clone thing. Like you don't come alive or have a real personality, but it's not real because it's a mask. Like, where are you? So the title is Many Masks, and the subtitle is The Authentic Self. So now that I'm looking at this in this particular light angle, it looks a lot different. Like, I can see details of the face, but they're faint. And it's like they're holding back and wearing a mask to, well, like they're hiding the authentic self, which is a shame, but I get it, you know, because you can want to hide behind a persona for protection, or to just like put something between yourself and what's coming at you that you don't necessarily really want to deal with authentically. Like, you don't want to bring it into your energy, so you deflect and you like defy them getting at you and your authenticity by wearing a mask. And that's a pretty common concept. And it's interesting that this card came up because I was just having a conversation earlier with someone, and we were both talking about different, like we came at it from different angles, but it ended up talking about the same thing, where the bottom line is that we have a tendency to hold back for whatever reason. Like, if we're going to say something, you know, and they were saying, well, I don't want to hurt people for no reason, you know, like, it's not, like, I just don't need to do that, you know, like, even if they make me mad or they've done something to me, like, I just can't do it. And I was like, man, I know exactly what you mean. I can, you know, like, get irritated or angry and say a bunch of stuff, but I don't think I'd even say anything that I wasn't gonna go do anyway, like, was what I started to say. Like, I might say something, but I would never go do it. I don't think I could even bring myself to, like, make some kind of stupid threat, because then it's on me, and I don't want that on me. Excuse me. But we throw on a mask and then say whatever's expedient for the moment, because you don't want to have to deal with the reality of the situation if you say what you authentically want to say. So it's always like the floating masks kind of make sense. And it's funny I said that they're just there to grab when you need it, because sometimes you just can't totally be your authentic self. But back to our conversation, like, it's not healthy, like, mentally or psychically, whatever, to hold things in that you authentically need to say, like, for your mental health and well-being. If you don't say it, you're going to feel terrible until you do. And that's something that I've said it recently on here that I need to work on, but I need to, like, hone my skill, or, like, learn how to be a whole lot more diplomatic. And I guess I'm kind of struggling with how diplomatic do I have to be if I still want to be authentic. So, I'm still tuning that. And I think it's something we just always are doing anyway. Like, it's not anything particularly special or magical. But it's something that we all kind of, I don't know, I shouldn't say all, because we're not all alike, but many of us wear masks of inauthenticity for protection, for whatever reason, like maybe out of fear, or you just don't want to be bothered, or it could cause a sequence of events that could make some appearance that you don't want to have. I mean, there's so many reasons, but I think it's just something that's common to a lot of us, not unfamiliar. And maybe we're all like going through that, and we have to find ways to sort of like clear our throats and get our throat chakras opened up and get those words out. It is like beneficial to our mental and physical health, psychic health, in my opinion. I think that's it. I think that's it. Thank you and good night.